My sister-in-law-to-be is sabotaging my wedding. So coincidentally, my sister-in-law-to-be is also an event planner, which only adds steroids to the situation. So we've been engaged for almost a year. We've only really been planning the wedding for about 6 months, but we've talked and discussed what we wanted. First, she hijacked the entertainment. We wanted a DJ, but she went ahead and booked a band. It's a local band that's apparently hard to book. This wasn't a horrible gesture or anything, but it was over the line not considering asking us first. We wanted the food served to be Southern food, as is our location, and she ordered catering from a fancier upscale place. I'm not trying to sound unappreciative or anything, but it isn't what we wanted. My fiancé got his groomsmen each a hunting jacket as a gift. I got my bridesmaids novelty rapier swords. Yeah, I'm that kind of girl. She, who is a bridesmaid, told me that the gift was stupid. My maid of honor, bless her heart, took the sword from her and said if she didn't appreciate it, then she couldn't have it. The final straw for me was when she told her boyfriend that he could serve in our wedding. Her excuse being that they were practically married, and she wanted him to be a part of the experience. This is probably the 80th guy she's dated since I've known her, so I know he's going to be gone soon. I very politely informed her that if she didn't leave my house, there would be slapping involved. On the previous note, she recommended to me that I take my own brother out of the ceremony to accommodate for her boyfriend. It seems like a personal vendetta against me now. My fiancé ended up getting into an argument with his family over this, and they defended his sister. He told them if they didn't respect our wishes, then they could stay home. The threat worked, but not for so long. When we were discussing at my rehearsal dinner where we were going for our honeymoon, we said we were going to Scotland. She said that sounded dumb, and that we should go somewhere nicer. Little girl, I have a prehistoric lake monster to find, and I'm not letting you get in the way of that. I very sweetly told her we made sure to get a nice king-sized bed so the three of us can all have fun together. After all, it's all of our wedding. I had a sit down with her later and told her that she was getting under my skin with everything. She told me it wasn't personal, and I assured her that it seemed that way. I told her that we were going to be family soon, and I wanted her at my wedding, a half-truth, but she needed to mellow out. She left without saying much, but she made a group chat today with everybody in the wedding party in it, assigning everybody specific tasks based off of their strengths and weaknesses. What should I do about her? She's taking the fun out of my wedding, and common sense won't stick with her for more than a few hours. How should I handle this? Comment. Op never says she hired Sil. She only says Sil is an event planner. I mean, maybe she did hire her, but I understood Sil is just fully overstepping without even having been asked. Even if she was hired to plan it, she'd still be overstepping. Not sure why you let her do this. You can simply say no. We want Southern food, period. We want a DJ, not a band. I personally agree the rapier is a very weird gift that is going to end up in the garbage or a closet for most people, but you do you. And same with your attendance. Just say no. Reply back to the group messages, sorry my FSIL forgets herself. That is mine or my Mo's job to assign task. So please disregard that last text message. If she calls you or complains, say I just talked to you about my boundaries. If you can't respect them, you do not need to be at my wedding. I understand you are an event planner, but this is your brother's and my event and we will plan it as we see fit. Not how you see fit. How is she able to do these things? Did you hire her as the event coordinator? I just don't understand how she was able to choose the catering menu for you. The bags, okay, maybe she knows them, and not a huge deal. But the menu is a big deal. Push back. Fire those caterers. Go pick your own and don't tell her about it so she has no chance to intervene. Don't tell her about any of your other choices either. Keep her out of the loop. Just elope. She's not planning your wedding, she's planning hers. Go get married in Scotland or anywhere that actually makes you happy, because your wedding should not be something you have to endure. I would explain that when she gets married she doesn't need to hand out swords, she can pick the menu she wants and select the honeymoon she prefers, but for your wedding, your plans are not suggestions but actually what is going to happen. Put your foot down now. Tell her not to do anything else for the wedding. Cancel what she has done so far and do what you want to do. Tell her if you want her help you will ask for it. Send out another group chat and tell everyone that plans are changing and you will let them know what if anything you want them to do at a later point. Fire her. Contact the venue and every vendor and ask them to password protect your contracts so that she cannot make any changes. Reply to the group chat and tell everyone that you or fiancé will ask them personally if you need their help with anything and to please disregard any past or future communications from Sil regarding the planning of your wedding. If you had put her ass in the spot she is supposed to be in after the first damn time, none of the other stuff would have been ghosts. Y'all gave her the opportunity to disrespect what y'all wanted, and it's not really on her. I don't know if she's always been an anal wart or not, but the common them around weddings is, ILS disrespect for years, months. They still get invited to fuck up the wedding, and wonder why their wedding is a nightmare. Stop giving people the opportunity to be an ass more than once. Story 2. My husband said something interesting. It's not my house anymore, I guess. I and my husband, 36, we'll call him Jake, have 3 little ones under 7. We moved to a new state and started building a new house. This was before the recent global pandemic, so we got a substantially large home for a great price. I'm talking 4K sq foot, 5 BD, 4 bath, this is relevant later, for 280K. Jake has an older sister, her lifestyle is very different from mine, we have the same profession, however I graduated, got married, and had a baby all within the same year, so since then I've been a Sam, whilst she is living in high pay / cost area, solo. Her lifestyle is glamorous, but her attitude is gutter. Oh, and she makes twice as much as my husband. For those of you thinking I'm jealous, I can write forever in another post, which I might do, but even the small snippet I'm writing now could sum up a general idea of our relationship. So during the pandemic Sil got married and pregnant to someone in a different continent. She decided she wanted to move closer to our family. During this time my Mill and Phil moved in with her 2 months before the baby was due. 2 BDAPT. They're both able-bodied people, believe it or not. Sil tried to pass them off onto us. Remember, we're a 7HR flight away, saying she needed space, etc. We told her not only did her dad have his doctor APT set up there, but she will also need the help since her husband wasn't coming anytime soon. We were right. Mill went to hospital and became nanny. Thus it began. I found the perfect luxury house and community, sent her all details and videos of me walking through this place. It's 25 minutes away from my house. She swore up and down it wasn't her thing, etc, etc. At the time the house I showed was 5 BD 4 bath, like a Barbie dream house, even my husband loved it. With all the top upgrades it came to 445K. We said build it, it takes a year. If you don't want it you can leave it. She still decided no. I understood this and wasn't bothered much since I figured she's having a baby, so stress and stuff. After she had the baby, she resumed with having Jake and I search for a house. Petty me, I resent her everything I sent before. She loved it. She flew down and signed the contract now at the price of 590K. My husband and I were diligent in the house process, continuously checking up on it, etc. However, whenever the builders needed her input, she would make them wait 2 to 3 weeks before giving them an answer. She then started to tell us she wasn't sure she wanted to move 2/4 THS of the completion. The builder's agent and hers would contact us because she was difficult to deal with. We know. This continued for till the house was completed. Unfortunately, during the construction my mother was diagnosed with a cancer that required me to go take care of her, different country. The children and I were gone for 8 months, she beat the cancer. I returned home, 2 weeks later my mother passed. I returned to her home solo to mourn and handle the estate for a week. Upon returning, my husband informed me that his sister is closing on the house and finally flying back down, it's been a year now, to see it. Cool. She came, she closed, then flew home to handle her moving affairs. This was a month worth. I had 2 family members visit for a weekend trying to help with the mourning process. Upon leaving I knew that the sister and whole family would be staying at my house for 2 weeks to start moving into their house literally the next day. So, they came. Was alright. I gave Sil all the stores, even went with her to some. This is where it gets gritty. For the first 13 days she supposedly didn't find anything. Remember, she also had a month, and all the time during construction to search for furniture. Finally at the end of the 2 weeks she bought herself a bed. So now she still needed sofa, table, parents' bed, child's bed. Week 3 comes around and no purchases. Week 4 comes around, she's still at my house for some reason and finally buys a couch. A month and a week total, she says she'll be heading out to her house with the baby. My husband asks what about parents' bed? She says OMG I forgot about them. I guess I can get a mattress and box spring and put it on the floor, will that be alright? My blood boiled, points to recognize, the parents are old, the mother has mercilessly watched her son for 20 months so far, and I continuously show her queen sets with all the stores we visited. I left the table and returned to sulky me in my room. When my husband returned, I reminded him how he said 2 weeks and we were now on 5. We decided the next day to bring her to an outlet. Didn't matter, like the trips we did before. She quickly walked past queen bedroom sets. It was evident to me she had no plans whatsoever to move her parents into her house. She looked around the store and every bed set she would say I can't fit the set in my guest room, your guest room is larger than mine. Her guest room is bigger than the room she's currently staying in at my house, which has a 6-piece queen-size bed set in it. This was Saturday. I reminded my husband I'll be having my sister, aunt, and best friend over the next Saturday, flying from my home country. So, he needs to handle his sister and fam. He assured me it'll be taken care of. I also told him about his sister plans to keep her parents at our place. My husband responded with well it'll be 50-50ths. I responded with 50-50ths what? She built the house knowing she was moving in with her parents, even got a sliding door installed in their room so they could quickly walk out to the yard. He responded with the 50-50ths again. I again relayed for people living 20-ish minutes away you don't need to do 50-50ths. Let me just add here, I'm cordial with the parents but that's it. So, this moving in thing not only a shock but a WTF? My husband traveled for work the next day. The sister supposedly moved out of my house Monday and hired a temporary nanny, husband won't be here for a while. However, she left her room with 2 bags full of her baby items. This has happened before when she buy 2 clothes on the house. She left dirty baby clothes and diapers packs because he, baby, grew out of them. Our children are older than her son so this made no sense, she left it for us to dispose of. This time she left diaper bag, diapers, clothes, blankets, medication. I took a picture and sent it to my husband. He told me not to move anything, I reminded him my family was coming and I needed to clean the room. Again he told me not to touch it. He doesn't want conflict. What? Yesterday I called my husband and informed him that when he returns Wednesday we'll need to talk. He said let's do it now. Sure. I cussed him out as I packed his sister's things left in the room into a bag. I packed all the bottles, baby food, and utensils from my kitchen. I placed it all in the foyer. My husband said just please put it in his mom's room. I responded with whose room and ended the call. Forgot to mention my garage has boxes of diapers, a stroller and nonsense of hers in it. Didn't she move into her house? I reiterated this to my husband, which he agreed. Today my husband returned home, saw the full carload that I collected and agreed. I asked him about the bed for his parents which he said he doesn't know if she got one yet. Right. My children were being kids when it came to dinner, very annoying. They didn't eat dinner so I sent them upstairs to their room. My husband suggested we cook them something else. I made sautéed beef and rice noodles. I said nah, my parents used to say eat or sleep and there was nothing wrong with the food. My husband replied people don't do that. I said well in my house I'm not going to let them waste food, maybe in an hour we'll try something else. My husband responded with stop saying this is your house. I was taken aback and said what, in my house you want me to stop saying my house? He replied with well do you pay the mortgage? I laughed. Loud enough for his parents to hear, pulled out my phone and started canceling my husband's authorized credit cards. I'm a Sam, but I have passive income of $3K a month. I use this for our kids' clothes, groceries, school lunches, my car 2023 Nissan Pathfinder, internet, streaming services, etc. My credit is excellent. Well my husband crashed his and of course to rebuild him I authorized him on 3 of mine. My husband pays mortgage, car insurance, phone bill, and $8,000 loan he owes me. My name is on the deed of the house. He's angry sleeping now since I'm upset enough that I finally wrote on Reddit. Which of course he doesn't approve of. There's now 2 days till my family comes over, his parents are still in the guest room, the accumulated baby items in my garage, and I'm feeling a strain on my mental health. I personally think now that my mom is gone they're trying to make it seem like my family doesn't matter or something. When I wanted to use the guest room before for a hobby it was meant for guest, all our friends, etc. Now he's putting it as his parents' room. LOL, I don't even remember my question for y'all. Like if the sister wanted to chill solo in her new house for 2 months or something, she needed to only ask, and if I wasn't having people coming over, no big deal. But she didn't. Neither did my husband. Help somewhere, I guess? My husband is the problem. Am the problem. Why didn't I find a house an hour away? Comment. I think the husband is coming off as not doing anything because he isn't on purpose. I think he agreed to all that is happening behind her back but is playing dumb or gaslighting her. He's hiding it because he knows she wouldn't agree. Sounds as though your husband has been having conversations without you, making plans that you are not privy to. Now he just expects you to go along with them. Honestly, I don't know why you haven't just driven Sill's shit over to her house and dropped it off. Then, use your husband's money to buy your in-laws a bed and have it delivered to Sill's house. Or, use your husband's money to book your in-laws a hotel, letting everyone know that you've been more than patient and need your home back now. Then have a fucking word with your husband and tell him the house is actually just as much yours and his comment was absolutely unacceptable. If he wants to continue on that strain, he can also move in with his sister. I thought it was just me. After reading 3 paragraphs, I gave up. The length, the extra information, and the writing style made it very challenging to follow. Context is important, but so is concision. Also the my house. In our place, everything is mine and my wife's. We always say our money, our place, our food. This keeps from setting unwanted boundaries that can cause conflict. Relationships are a symbiosis between two people. There is give and take, but ultimately the two should have the same ideals. If not, it's probably best to part ways. All this. It's honestly an incredibly misogynist take to say that if someone who takes care of the kids makes less money, they are somehow worth less, should get less of a say, etc. Because it all goes back to the invisibility of women's labor. It's taken for granted because women are just supposed to do that stuff. All kids aside, it's gross to judge people's worth within a partnership based on how much money they make. Yet if someone's a layabout, that's a situation that needs dealing with, but are you really going to say, honey, you work really hard as an elementary school teacher, but I'm an attorney helping companies get away with shit and make 3x as much money, so I get 3x the say in what goes on around here? EFF off with that. Remind your husband that moving family members into your home is a 2 yes, 1 no decision. Personally, I'd get a U-Haul and load up Sill's crap and drive it to her house and unload it in the driveway.